the Kurma Lila,
Yes.
that how Krishna is allowing us to take part in one of the books. I think it was Revealed Truth. Govinda Maharaj is talking about the transcendental family, how to look at our family or at anything that is in front of us or around us, and how to transcend it. Could I hear a bit about this? Just to
What family are you referring to?
like he was referring to our,
Or was he referring to?
or he was referring to according to.
You mean like your mother and father, brother and sister type family, or god sister and god brother?
Actually, he was referring to like wife, children, mother, father, but to look at them or to deal with them as service to Krishna, or my understanding was kind of like that.
It can be. Remember, Gurudev is very generous when he discusses these things. I cannot imitate his generosity, but I can refer to it. Because, I mean, I say that because for him, it's really from the heart. So, I mean, Sudarshan, he grew up in a devotee family, but you may recall, like, there were children in LA, these little boys. You know, you see these little kids running around the street. What are you doing? And they're like, we're playing sannyasis. And they'd have on dhotis and little dundas, these kids who were this big. They're, we're playing sannyasi. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know. And it's like, but there's a little bit of one-upsmanship. You know, like there's always some devotee mother with a child, and their child slobbering over like a picture book with, you know, he loves to look at the pictures of Krishna, you know. We're like, okay. And, so, not that that's not true, but there's serving your family, like, how shall we say, using it as an excuse for mundane life, that is not advisable. But if one can recognize husband sees wife as servitor, wife sees husband as servitor, servant of Guru, see the children as servants of Guru, that's another thing. So he's talking about like, in Bhaktivinoda, Manasa Deho Geho Yo Kichumor Arpilu Tua Pade Nanda Kishore. What Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying. And even then, I mean, I'm just saying this, a bowed head and folded palms. That's in the song, and that he's showing how it can be like that. What is it? Shuddha Bhajana, Grihe, Bhajana Deki, Goloka. Yeah. I saw my home turned into Goloka Vrindavan. This is the vision of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. That said, Guru Maharaj will say, of his, 14 children or so, Guru Maharaj will say, 2 of them are seriously interested in Krishna consciousness. And of the 2, we consider one a sahajiya. So there's that side to the equation also. Right? So, Guru Maharaj says when the husband and wife come before the deity, they're both servitors. The husband and wife relationship is not active there. So we know in human interaction, it doesn't mean at every moment someone's going to be thinking like that. But what we would say, if there can be moments where you're not thinking about the mundane relationship and thinking servitor, then that's a wonderful thing. Remember when Gaurkishordas Babaji only had one disciple, but some were, we could call followers or people who came around for his darshan. And when it was relayed to him that one of them was going to get married, and they were wondering how Babaji Maharaj would respond to this. And he said, tell him to dress and decorate his wife as a gopi. so that he will always remember that the gopis are for Krishna's enjoyment. So, as Prabhupada once said, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj was a very humorous fellow. You say some different things like that. So, it means that we have to be contemplative in a real sense. Think like that. About what is there. We're talking about actual identity. Sometimes we have to look to the Swarup to think of something, to ignore or suppress the familiarity of human interaction. Familiarity breeds contempt. To go in the other direction and think, oh, this is a servitor. It will be good for me, helpful for me, to assist them. As Guru Maharaj gave advice to managers, one idea to think, you have so many things you need to be done, who can do that? Right? Some person is put in your camera saying, oh, all right, I'll have them do this. Right? That's easy to understand. But Guru Maharaj gave some other insight saying, when someone comes to you, think, this is a servant of Guru and Krishna. How can I assist them in realizing their service potential, what they're supposed to be doing? That's another way to look at it. But how that will play out practically, as I say, if we can have moments of remembrance like that, that'll be a good thing. But Gurudev did not like that in a generation of family members, if there's a village in Bengal called Kutumba. I couldn't believe it because I remember hearing this old sloka, Kutumba Bharanenava. And it's like the burden of family life. So there's a village in West Bengal called Kutumba. I'm not advising that anyone go there like on pilgrimage or anything. But Gurudev didn't like if, and recognition of that burden, responsibility, if it took one away from seva, that displeased him at the same time. So how to find that balance? So, but we want something real, like Guru Maharaj would say at times, I suppose you want to know whether or not that's real or what is being expressed is real. So it means it's not just a blanket statement that in every instance or every situation it will be that service to the family is service to Krishna, but there may be instances where it is, and one would be remiss to not recognize them when that is before them. So, and the inverse of that, just for those who might wonder, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he also fulfilled his obligations as the head of a household, a father, and particularly in India, you have to get your daughters married, and he did these things. But that said, I remember being on the roof with Prabhupada in Bombay, and he was talking. It was interesting. He said to Giriraj Maharaj, who was the leader in charge of everything there, he said, "Are you keeping that one room ready?" And he said, "Yes, Prabhupada." And we're all like, "Wow, it's like a mystery. What's the room? Who's the room for?" And Prabhupada, "It is for one special guest." And Prabhupada knows we're all dying. Now we're all dying to hear who it is, and he goes, "How he is special, I shall explain." Then he leaned forward, and then I was surprised. He said, "It is for my son." He had more than one. He said, he's thinking of doing bhajan, and he wants to go to Sridhar Maharaj's ashram. That's also interesting. Prabhupada's son thinking of doing bhajan, he wants to go to Guru Maharaj's ashram. And Mom said, but I told him, I have so many. You can come here, I'll keep one room for you. And then he was reflecting, he said, he was so serious when he was younger. He said, one Janmashtami came, and the boy was, like he was 10 or something, he was fasting, and throughout the afternoon and toward the early evening, he became weak. But I told him, eat something. He said, but he would not. He wanted to wait, He said, I had so much hope for him. Then he said, but he became spoiled by the communists. And that he means the Bengali communists, not the ones from, As we know from Amia, he saw in the communist office in Calcutta, they have like Lenin with tilak and Gopi Chandan, they put on a garland every day. But he means by that political party there in West Bengal. We were seeing, he was temporarily a Tatastavichar type situation where he was reflecting upon a child of his as a father and what he had hoped for his child in terms of his spiritual evolution and development. And he also expressed some disappointment. That's why it's not an exaggeration to say that in Srila Govinda Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, what he wanted for his sons, he got. So he thought, like this, studying Bhagavad Gita, he found a partner, like what he envisioned his son being. Srila Gurudev gave him that. It's not just something we say or wishful thing. It's true. And at that inauguration of Mayapur, Prabhupada said, what Govinda Maharaj says is true. He's like my affectionate son, and the one he wants to share all Krishna consciousness with. But then Prabhupada said something on this same subject, interesting as well. He had these two daughters, and he said, I made arrangements for their marriage. And then he said, but my wife, she did not approve. He said, and he has his hand in his own, and he said, therefore I said, let them all go to hell. That with a sweeping gesture. Let them all go to hell. So then we understood in that moment that he was saying, these sort of obligations, they only go so far. And that's when his sister came, who is also devotee, Baba Tarini Didi, everyone called affectionately Pishima. She said, Prabhu, you're just meant to preach Krishna consciousness. We'll take care of this. She was encouraging him to leave family life, take sannyas, and just be a full-time preacher, and saying, whatever family obligation, we'll make these arrangements. So all of this stuff has to be considered carefully. But we, in this song of Bhaktivinoda Thakur is so perfect and beautiful, and he shows what the possibility is, where the whole family is Krishna conscious, the mother, the father, the children, the household, and Mahaprabhu's devotees were like that. The family of Shivananda Sen, and even when Shivananda Sen couldn't get, Nityananda's under a tree hungry, which is not a good situation. And he can't, and so he calls Shivananda, come here for a second, and he's kicking Shivananda Sen, dissatisfied with the arrangement. And Shivananda Sen, his wife, is like, you were just kicked by Nityananda Prabhu. He said, I'm so fortunate. So, so many happiness is there in the family affairs. But Prabhu, Sudhir, could you sing the Parama Karana? That's the famous song of Lochan Das Thakur. Pahudvi jana. Lalita, let me have a... Nitai Gaura Chandra. Avatar Sava. Let's tell everyone. It's first words Paramakarana. Let them give the books out because I think they will need for this. You can start again in a second. And in this one, it's on page 126. But in the Russian song, everyone have something now or close to it? Again. I know, I just want to say about this, as Prabhupada, he really, we know he's the ultimate devotee of Nitai Gaurachandra. And so there was a period where Gaur Nitai, they're being installed all over ISKCON centers, like just one after another, and Prabhupada would visit these places and see Nitai Gaurachandra. He was in what he called Caracas, but he called Caracas. You know, he's like, I was in Atlanta. So there were Nitai Gaurachandra in Caracas, Venezuela, and then Gurudev, the ones there now, he also, in deference to that, Nitai Gaurachandra. Then Prabhupada went to Miami, there was again Nitai Gauranga. Then he came to Atlanta, and again there were these beautiful Gaur Nitai deities, and so he said, I am coming from Caracas, and he's talking about Nitai Gaurachandra there, and he said, and then Miami, from Miami, Miami, and this shows you how charming he could be, like Gurudev, and then he sees Gaur Nitai again here, and it's and we're talking about super opulent worship, beautiful, big, radiant deities, and Prabhupada looked at those deities and he said, and I can see that your temple is the best. And everyone went insane. And this song would be sung, sometimes he's shedding tears. This song is really his, and one of his favorite songs. It's favorite to all the devotees, and glorifying Nitai Gaurachandra, Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu.
Parama Karuna Pahu Dui Jana,
Parama Karuna Pahu Dui Jana,
Nitai Gaurachandra,
Nitai Gaurachandra,
Savai Avatar Sarasiromani, Pasana Vida